Good morning. Good morning, my beautiful friends. This is your wake up call with Maui Paul. I'm Maui Paul. We are here today to say some nice things about ourselves. We're going to go through the next card in our weekly exploration of the I Am deck. And as we do, we are going to just affirm some things about ourselves which are true. So I hope you join me for a little while as we go through this and have some fun today. Good morning, Frank. I see that you are here today. It is wonderful to see you. Anyways, I'm gonna pull the next card from the top of the deck, and I'm gonna ask you if you are that affirmation. And what I'd like for you to do is to respond out loud, I am the affirmation on the card. So let's begin by saying that today I am enthusiastic. I am enthusiastic. I bring substantial energy to everything I do. So I am enthusiastic. I bring substantial energy to everything I do. Are you enthusiastic? You are enthusiastic. You bring substantial energy to everything you do. I'm going to put that up on the screen here, that we are enthusiastic, and I'm going to write it down in the chat. And I see that you're here. I see that you're here, Lauren. Good morning, Lauren. Good morning, Frank. So I am going to write that into the chat. I am enthusiastic. I bring substantial energy to everything I do. And we really do bring substantial energy as we go through life. Whatever it is that we put our energy toward is the thing that moves forward. And I'm sure that in my life, there have been many things that I just sort of allowed to fall by the wayside that I got really excited about and then I stopped doing. And my goodness, this has been like a pattern for me. And yet I realized that when I remain enthusiastic about stuff, when I just continue to do it, when I continue to bring energy to it, it moves forward in ways that are unexpected, even when I don't know exactly, how or why these projects that are important to me are moving forward. And so we have to understand that we're not always going to feel enthusiastic. We're not always going to feel like we are ready to take on the world. And yet it is so important to bring consistency and regularity to the things that we do. I know that last week, was it last week? I think it was last week on Friday morning. I had such a terrible headache. I mean, I did not want to get out of bed, but I also had a 9 a.m. And so it's like 8:50 in the morning, and I am not interested in getting out of bed. But it's important for me to do this because, I have people who expect me to be here. And so I got out of bed and I put some enthusiasm into it. And I did a very short, yet still enthusiastic wake up call with Maui Paul. And I dedicated myself to bringing some energy to it simply because I have purposed to do this. I have really set this goal for myself. And also because I really love and respect and honor the people who are around me and who attend these events, these broadcasts. So I am enthusiastic and I bring energy to what I do. And as we bring energy to what we do in life, we also inspire other people to find the things that excite them in the same way that the things which we are bringing energy to excite us. And so this card today is a reminder to perhaps look at dormant projects and say, why am I not moving forward on that? Why has the enthusiasm waned on that thing? And sometimes enthusiasm wanes because we've changed our goals, because we have, we recognize that maybe we didn't want the thing that we thought that we wanted, or maybe we realized that we thought we had to do something a certain way. And then all of a sudden, the way life just changed a little bit. And the way that life changed permits us to do it differently. So when we notice that our enthusiasm is flagging, that's a really good inflection point for us to say, well, because our enthusiasm is flagging, let's look at what the root underlying causes of that are, and then let's continue to bring the energy to it if it's truly in line with who we are. And if it isn't, then we can give ourselves permission to be enthusiastic about something else. But let's be sure that we're not being enthusiastic, that we are not trading one enthusiasm for another and ending up with a whole bunch of 90% completed projects or 80% completed projects or 10% completed projects. It's the day of finishing is definitely better than the day of starting. And this is certainly something that I have to work on in my own life, because I sure do love starting stuff, but finishing things is not as easy for me. I have noticed that as I have been doing this broadcast and as I've been affirming these things in my own life, that it has become easier and easier to finish the thing that I have, that I have really purposed to do for myself. And yeah, Frank, it is hitting home, isn't it? This is not only a me thing. I'm talking to myself, but I know I'm talking to everybody else too, because this is a very, very common condition. In his book, Finish, John Acuff wrote the book Finish. And one of the things he said was that there is nothing more attractive when you are 95% done with a project than a new project. And I was actually responding to a friend last night who was talking about how, he just recently got something that he really wanted in life that he'd been working toward for a long, 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 long time. And discovered that getting the thing didn't bring him any lasting happiness or joy. Like, he wasn't enthusiastic about his prize, about the thing that he had been working toward for years, the thing that he had been, just really putting his energy toward, bringing his substantial energy to. And one of the points that I brought up was that it's better to be working toward it than to have it. Having it is less fulfilling than working toward it. And I had to think about my own life and realize that sometimes, like, the biggest sadness and depressive episodes that I've had in life have always come after a major win. And why is that? Why is it that after I win, I'm sad? Shouldn't we be happy when we win? And shouldn't we be happy when we get the thing that we want? Shouldn't that make us enthusiastic? But frankly, it doesn't make us enthusiastic, because we are creatures that are built-in desiring machines. We know how to desire things. We know how to generate and create new desires. And once we get our desires, or the object of our desires, it's important to discipline ourselves to then create a new desire so that we can continue working toward it. Andrew Huberman talks about dopamine as being a chemical that is like the chemical of the pursuit. We think of dopamine as this chemical of being satisfied, but that's not what it is at all. And when we're chasing a dopamine hit, we're chasing the ability to pursue stuff. In my life, I in my history have played all kinds of meaningless video games. And why do I do that? Well, I do it because they set forth a defined goal. And even though I know that I'm only really just kind of working a spreadsheet on the back end, and that, numbers are going up on the back end, and it's putting a pretty picture on the screen, and that ultimately it has no meaning whatsoever, it's still some kind of a goal, and therefore hits all those dopamine receptors. So as we are going through our day today, let's just realize that we have this ability to be enthusiastic and to bring substantial energy to what we do. And yet that the substantial energy that we bring is not going to give us the meaning in life that we seek, but rather it's the process. It's not the attaining of goals that brings us meaning in life. It is the process of deciding that we want new things and going for those things. And the day that we decide that we're not going to go for anything new is the day that we just kind of like get depressed. So let's be enthusiastic today. Let's be enthusiastic about new things and about old things, about unfinished things in particular. Let's be enthusiastic about those. Let's revisit the things that we haven't finished and ask ourselves why we haven't finished them, and then cultivate some new enthusiasm around those things and surrounding those things. So on my to-do list today, I actually have a weekly review that I do of all the stuff that I haven't finished. And then I ask myself, why isn't it done? Why haven't I finished it? And if the answer is because something else came up that was more exciting, then I have a darn good reason to continue to do the first thing before I continue the second thing. Anyways, I want to say thank you guys so much for being here. If you were here on Sunday, you know that I read a story, and I'm going to read the part of the story that is relevant to us today. And so let's see here. Let me pull it up. All right. So today we commit to dedicating enthusiastic energy to our chosen goals. We recognize that enthusiasm and daily action are the key to advancing our dreams, and that our positive energy will attract the right people and circumstances into our lives. And so that's the part of the story for this week. We are enthusiastic. So let's attract the right people and circumstances into our lives simply by being enthusiastic about the things that are important to us. And watch these life situations multiply our efforts in ways that we never could have done on our own. I want to say thanks so much, Shauna, Frank, Lauren. It's wonderful to see you guys here. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for sharing this stream and for just in general multiplying this message. You guys are amazing. And yeah, I love you. I appreciate you. I'll talk to you tomorrow at 9 a.m. for the next version of the Wake Up Call. Until then, have yourselves a fantastic and enthusiastic day. Aloha from paradise.